So CEO of Netflix asked for help to save his marriage. I was watching the CNN interview last week, and the anchor asked him a question about this particular situation, and he said that he realized when he sat down with a marriage counselor that he was a systemic liar. He had grown up and he had been used to saying that my family comes first, because it was the right thing to say. But during that session with the marriage counselor, he realized that he was a systemic liar because he didn't actually mean it. His actions weren't matching his words. He would say that his family came first, but when an employee had a problem in the office, he would stay all night with that employee until the solution was found. In the meantime, ignoring his family. And over time, that had built up to the point where it was about to affect his marriage and inevitably cause a divorce. But the moment he became more honest, it helped his marriage. And so there are two things that I believe that we can learn from this story. These two things can help you succeed in your relationships and help you avoid divorces. These two things, I believe, if Dr. Dre and his wife actually applied it, they wouldn't need to get the $1 billion divorce. Ray J just filed for divorce from his wife. They wouldn't need to do it if they knew these two things. Cardi B just filed for divorce from her husband. If they knew these two things, they wouldn't have to do it. If they knew and applied, by the way, because the blessing comes when you actually do the word. So I'm going to be sharing these two things just after this. All right, so welcome to Before Marriage 21. My name is Muyiwa. I usually do this with my wife. She's going to be back in October. She just gave me the news earlier today, so I'm excited about that. You're going to see her back here in October. We help single Christians who become the right people for marriage by showing them what marriage looks like when done God's way. We also share our take on all things relationship that happen in the news. We're just going to dive right into it. So Netflix CEO asks for help to save his marriage. Now, first things first, Netflix CEO is worth about $6 billion. Billion with a B. He has a brand that is a worldwide brand. It's now a household name like Indomie. You hear Netflix over and over multiple times during the day. Plus, he's one of the smartest people in tech and in the future of technology. And just check that resume, man. It's worth $6 billion. These are the kind of guys that we want to get married to, man. These are the kind of guys that we want to become. But guess what? He asked for help. No matter how successful that he has become, he still recognized that he needed help in this other area. And it frustrates me when I see men who don't even have up to 1% of this guy or what this guy has, and they are so proud. Their ego blocks them from actually seeking help. This guy could have easily said, I'm successful in my own right. I'm a billionaire. I've been able to make good decisions that has positioned me to where I am right now. If I've been right about this, and I'm obviously right about every other thing. He could have said that, but he understood that success in one area doesn't mean success in all areas. The fact that you're successful in business doesn't mean that you'll be successful in marriage. So if you are weak in that area, then why don't you look or leverage off the strengths of people who actually are strong in the area of marriage? And that is one thing that I learned from this story, was that he did not allow the success that he had in one area to predict the weaknesses that he had in another area. He chose to leverage the strength of others. He chose to seek help from someone who was strong in that area. So with these kind of people, they believe that they know everything and they don't need to learn anything. And there's a quote that I like to say is that if you do not read, you cannot lead. If you do not read, you cannot lead. If as men we are called the head of the home, then we need to be able to learn. We need to be able to humble ourselves to learn so that we can lead. We need to be able to read books, because when you read a book, you're actually leveraging off the wisdom of others. You are saving yourself time and energy and mistakes, because when someone writes a book, they are giving you an informed decision of mistakes that they've gone through and how they were able to get over it. You don't have to go through the same process. By reading the book, you can actually save yourself years of mistakes. Even Proverbs 11:2 says that when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with the humble is wisdom. James 4 verse 10 says, humble yourselves before the Lord and he will exalt you. If you want to be elevated in life, if you want to be successful in a particular area, humility is a prerequisite for that elevation. And I'm sure that is what he has actually done to make Netflix the global brand that he is right now. He doesn't say that because I'm the CEO, I must be the smartest guy in this whole building. But guess what? He has seen other people that are strong in certain things that he's probably weak at, and is able to leverage those strengths to build this company that he has been able to oversee. James 4:6 says, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. If you want grace, humility comes before grace. So if you're currently struggling in your relationship, ask for help. Ask for help. If Reed Hastings, someone who's worth $6 billion, and to be honest, I believe most billionaires actually have these traits as well, is that you need to ask for help. You don't know everything. Ask for help when you need it. Read books. There's John 1:4 says that the word gave life to everything, and that life became the light to help guide us. So light. Imagine walking into this room right now. It's dark. You're going to be scared. Which is why a lot of people are scared of marriage. They are fearful about what getting married would do to their lives. It's because you are walking into it like it's a dark room. Whenever you hear a small sound or a small movement in the dark room, you don't know what it is, so you're immediately scared. But guess what happens when you turn on the light? You become very confident. Now, whenever you see a movement or whatever, you know exactly what is making that movement, so you're not scared. So that is what we need to do if you're currently struggling in your relationship. Humble yourself. Seek help. Get light into that dark situation that is causing the problems. Get pre-marriage counseling. Marriage counseling if you're currently married and you're struggling. Leverage off the strengths of other people who are actually specialized in this area. OG and I actually offer a service. It's a pre-marriage counseling guide to help you see if you're compatible or suitable with the person that you want to eventually get married to. So if you're currently engaged, maybe you've been in a long-term relationship, you want to make sure that this is actually going into that direction. Let's not waste our time. Let's not waste 5 years of our lives and realize that this wasn't a good fit. You can take the test. One of the most detailed reports that I've ever seen on relationships is going to help you identify the problems that you have, and more importantly, ways that you can actually overcome those situations. And if whatever red flags are there that are deal breakers, then it's time to cut it short so that you don't waste your time. Number 2 thing that I learned from this was he was brutally honest with himself. And I believe that is with addicts that you say that the first point of recovery is acknowledging that you have a problem. You cannot solve a problem unless you acknowledge it is there. He realized that he was a systemic liar. What he was saying wasn't matching what he was doing. And we hear these things every single day as well. It's not just that my family is first. A guy can tell you that I love you, but his actions matching his words. A guy can tell you that I will do anything for you. What in his actions actually shows that he's going to do that? I will protect you. If he's saying I'll protect you and he's beating you, then obviously he's lying. He's a systemic liar as well. So we need to be able to call these things out. And if you're the one that's currently doing this, you need to be brutally honest with yourself. I am not good at marriage. You need to, all my relationships have failed and I'm the common denominator in there. You know what? There must be something that I'm doing wrong. Until that honesty is brutal, until you can become honest with yourself, then you cannot actually defeat that problem. I was talking to a girl. I posted something on Instagram on my personal page like last week, and it was very controversial. As the whole Black Lives Matter thing, I don't believe in that. And then the conversation sort of evolved into abortion. And I told her, those Black Lives Matter too. You can't be killing 1,000 babies every day in the abortion clinics, and one police officer kills a black guy, and then all of a sudden you're like, Black Lives Matter. Those Black Lives Matter too. And she's like, come on. Don't even come to me with that, because I'm in charge of my body. You cannot be telling me what I'm going to do with my body. And I told her, I said, nope, if you say you're a Christian, then our belief is that God actually owns our body. And she said, yeah, God owns my body, but I also own my body, and I decide what to do with my body. And I said, hold on, you just contradicted yourself. You said God owns your body, but then you make the decisions on how to use your body. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, how does that even make sense? That's a contradiction. She's like, God owns my body, but I choose to. And I said, you know what? God doesn't own your body. You own your body, and you're choosing exactly what you want to do with it. Let's just call a spade and not a garden instrument. So that. And unfortunately, that is a lot of those examples are found in our daily lives. Someone is saying something because it sounds good to say, it sounds right, but your actions are saying something completely different. Even James 1:8 says, let not that man suppose he will receive anything from the Lord. He's a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Proverbs 11 verse 3 it says, the integrity of the upright will guide them. You see, when you become honest with yourself, direction immediately follows. It reminds me of the prodigal son. When he came to himself, when he was honest with himself, was when the direction came that I need to go back to my father's house, where even the slaves are living better than I'm living right now. When he was honest with himself. Even there was a man in Mark chapter 3 verse 1-6 where he had a withered hand, and Jesus told him, stretch out your hand. Jesus did not specify which hand. He had one good hand, he had one withered hand. He could have easily put out the good hand because people were around him, but his honesty, he put out the hand that had the problem. And by being honest with himself and even honest with others, he received his healing. So if you're currently struggling in a relationship, I believe these two things, Reed Hastings, billionaire, was able to seek help to save his marriage. He valued his marriage enough to actually seek help for it. Is it possible that these guys who are just getting divorces left, right, center just don't value their marriage enough? If a billionaire values his marriage enough to actually seek help, to see how we can make this thing work, even regardless of whatever successes that I have, then what is your excuse? If this guy can keep learning, even with all the successes that he has, then what is your excuse? Humility, honesty are the two things that would help you succeed in marriage. 2 out of many, by the way, but 2 out of many things that will help you succeed in marriage and to help you avoid a divorce. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear you guys in the comment section. What in the news is currently tickling your fancy? So what in the news about relationships or marriages are you seeing that you need more clarification on, or you want us to have or share our opinions on? I would love to hear from you. You love my new gear, Mercy. It says Mercy. I love these guys, Art of Homage. Check them out on Instagram. Christian clothing. I love their products, man. You see my other cap, it says Yahweh. I have another one as well. So anyway, see you guys next week. Peace.